In this video, I'm going to give you 15 pieces of advice that I would give, let's say, Loy Machedo if he was young, or a young man today in the year 2026. Now, before I do move into the video, I will caution you that the pieces of advice that I give you are controversial in nature. Some of you may not like what I have to say, but then again, it's very subjective. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the comment section below I get called names from male chauvinistic pig to, they'll try to get personal and say that, oh, what about your daughter? If I were to do this and that, your daughter, feel free, go ahead. I don't take your comments seriously. You can say whatever you like. Baba, I'm a 50-year-old man. Yeah, come on. You can see all this. No? If I start getting, completely, angry or start reacting to every small little comment, I mean, I've not grown from my school or college days. Okay. Anyway, ex-college days, whatever. All right. So I'm going to give you 15 pieces of advice. It'll be different for women if I were to give relationship advice to women. But given that 99% are men, that's why I'm making this video for men. So listen to it and let me know your thoughts, whether you agree, disagree. And if you have any questions, put it in the comments. Now, why did this topic come to play is because I still get young men asking me for advice in relation to women. And see, here's the thing. Even though some of you might just laugh at the situation, oh, why would someone come to you for advice? Or ha ha ha, people in this day and age ask advice for girlfriends and all that. Calm down, Tiger. I know that you are the alpha male, the Andrew Tate. You are the keyboard warrior that knows everything and has everything. But when it comes to feelings, emotions, when it comes to an individual's personality, their true self, okay, matters of the heart are not a joke. And when you are truly invested in a female, when you truly care about someone or truly love someone, it's very different. I used to be cocky, arrogant, ignorant, and I used to think, girls like this, just have fun. I used to laugh at people who would fall in love. I used to look down on people who would cry for a girl or, would suffer an emotional breakup. All that until it happened to me. And if you have seen my videos over the years, you know that the girl whose face I tattooed here, which later on I made it into a zombie, was the girl I loved the most. No hard feelings with her. I don't hate her anymore. It was, 30, now 20 years, man. I'm getting old. Even she's becoming older. All right. So 15 pieces of advice. See what works for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you don't agree with something, please, instead of just giving names, hey, this and that and whatever, just state, I disagree with this point of yours and state why. All right. One very important final bit, and that is the piece of advice that I'm giving here is predominantly for Indian men with Indian upbringing or Indian lifestyle or Indian roots. No matter how much an Indian tries to be westernized, unless, of course, he is the second or third generation that is born and raised in the West. Indian roots, Indian values, Indian mannerisms, Indian thinking, Indian mentality always stays with the person. It is something that is very strong, especially when family values are there. So Indians, that is why I'm saying that this is predominantly for Indians. For people from the West, Americans, Brit, Russians, they have a different set of values. I'm not saying that their values are bad or they don't have any. It's different. Okay. Like, I'll give you a simple, small example. In India, it is arranged marriage. In India, it is joint families staying together. In India, it is children touch the feet of the parents and take blessings. Indian men listen to what the mother and father have to say. Even at the age of 40, some of them are scared what their mother and father will think, or they are afraid to go out. You might call this being a simp. It is actually part and parcel of the culture. I don't see anyone in the West, touching their parents' feet and taking permission from their parents. In fact, the punishment that an Indian would get is with a chappal. Chappal is a slipper or a belt. The punishment that a Western kid would go to your room, and a private room is there. Indians don't get private rooms, baba, unless, of course, the parents are slightly modern thinking. So, having said that, sorry, I had to elaborate a little bit. Let's move on into the topic. The first most important bit that I would like to tell any young man in the year 2026 today is, baba, please don't underestimate women. Yes, you're alpha male. Yes, you watch Andrew Tate's videos. Yes, there are a lot of these dating coaches and relationship advice and all blah, blah, blah. Everything is online. And you think, I'm the alpha male, I'm the man, I have the balls, I have the testosterone. Just make sure that you never underestimate women, because nature is such. If it gives you certain strengths, it gives you weaknesses. A snake might not have hands and legs, it has fangs, it has teeth, it has venom. A skunk, may not have very sharp claws or dangerous like a tiger, but its smell, its fart, or its, glands are so terrible you can't breathe. Porcupine, looks very cool, calm, composed, but its quills will attack you. So every creature has the plus and minus. Elephants, very big, very strong, very slow. Let's say tiger and cheetah or carnivores, very fast running, but they get tired very easily. Deers, they don't have fangs and all that, but they can run for hours and hours, and they have solid endurance and, yes, speed. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're a man, you have testosterone, you have muscles, you have logic, you have brains. Women also have certain powers which they can use. And if I were to elaborate, women are very emotional creatures. This is not their weakness. This is actually their strength. They can sense things, they can feel things, they have a high degree of intuitiveness. And that is why, nature has gifted women with the ability to give birth, because they can literally feel the child, the love, the affection, the ability to influence. Remember, some of the greatest men of our, not generation, of humanity, their weakness were women. And, women are pretty good at it. So don't underestimate women. Don't think they are dumb. Just because you focus on your career and money and all that doesn't mean women don't know anything else. Yes, they may not be career minded, although they are today, but they can still read through you. And men, let me warn you with this. Most of the men, almost all, 99.99%, get into a relationship for sex. Sex is your agenda. Sex is what you want because of your testosterone. Right from a young age, men want sex. They just want sex. They want to try everything that they see online, whether it's adult sites. Oh, I'll try this. I'll put my tongue here and mouth there and make her upside down and front and back and left and right, and been there, done that. Okay. Women are aware of this. They are not kids. And, given today's social media, smart devices, female also have access to such kind of content. Although they are not very visual, they don't fall for this because they know it's fake. All right. But men get visually stimulated with this. So women are very aware of the fact that you want sex. So don't try to act like, no, I don't want sex. I just want love. I just want to be your friend. They can see through it very, very easily. And if you're able to fool them, maybe initially, later on, they will find out. Which brings me to the next point. Same point is, you think you can fool them, but eventually they will find out. And when they find out, then you better, like they say, you better have insurance. And for those men who are fans of Andrew Tate's kind of advice, if you're looking for a maid, someone who'll cook and clean and, take care of the house, and you're looking for the 3 M's, I call it: maid, who'll cook and clean and everything; mother, who'll take care of you like your mother, pamper you and baby you; and mistress, who will give you erotic and crazy sex. MMM. Maid, mother, mistress. If you're looking for such a woman, well, I'm not saying it's wrong. There are some men who have these requirements, but then keep in mind the woman also knows that if you want these 3 things, she has her terms and conditions, she has her charges. If she's going to give you all these things, well, she also wants something to be loyal and faithful to get all these things. It's like having an employee. You want an employee to be a driver, a cleaner, a salesperson, marketing guy, operations guy, logistics. Initially, maybe the person wants a job, they'll keep quiet, but at some point they'll be like, I'm doing all these, things. Instead of 1 person's job, I'm doing 10 person's job. I definitely need a raise. I need more money. So it's not just money. They also will have their demands. And which brings me to the sub point of this, of underestimating women. If you think you can take advantage of women, remember at some point they will explode like a volcano, and they can put you in serious trouble. And we don't have to go very far. There are enough and more examples and cases in the news where females have literally taken the guy to task. Real allegations, false allegations, evidence, or even in some cases, literally cut and chop, sausage party. They are even capable of doing that. Remember, if a woman really wants to cause you damage, or really wants to hurt and harm you, there are a lot of ways. You're not going to be awake 24/7. You sleep and you wake up and you'll find something missing. You think that, oh, I'm always alert, and next thing you know, all across social media, maybe she has posted your deepest, darkest secrets, or she might even take you to task and find out the laws, rules, and regulations and hold you accountable. Or if the law supports her, she will claim alimony and she will claim compensation. So do not, under any circumstance, underestimate women. I know this is a very long point, but this is a very important point, and that is point number one. Please do not underestimate women. Women, if they really want to be dangerous, and if they are determined to put your life, make your life miserable, they really can. That is number one. Point number two, Baba, please be realistic. Okay. If your leg stretches so much, if your bed is so long, then the legs also should stretch only till here, not go beyond that. That is what my mentor used to tell me. In fact, I put it this way. If your budget is, don't go shopping for a Corvette or a Ferrari if your budget is that of a Toyota. Did you understand? Very simple. Don't have dreams and aspirations of, I want such an expensive and this and that, but you don't have the means to, maybe you'll take a loan to buy the car, but then you have service, you have spare parts, you have maintenance. All that headache comes with buying an expensive car. Same with the girl. If you're going to go with an arm and a leg just to please her, to keep her happy, she's the queen of your heart. She is, you're a simp, you're a slave, you're the, she can walk all over you. Boss, to maintain that kind of a woman with her level of expectations, your life is going to be made miserable. And I'll tell you this, you might think that you're pleasing her and winning her heart over. Women do not respect such men, because she will always, end of the day, women always want a man, a really tough, rough guy who's in control. That is why during my Playboy days, I used to have, which I don't recommend, a lot of married women were there whose husbands were treating them like queen, but these females were having a good time with me. I'm sorry to say, I have to admit that this is not a good thing to share, but like I tell you, I keep things very real. So women want a man who they can look up to, who they respect, who's in control. They might, complain, hem and haw and all that stuff, but deep down, they'll always want a man. So if your budget is that of a Toyota, please don't go around shopping for a Corvette and don't buy one. Okay. The sub point to point number two is, you have standards and expectations. Yes, I'm aware of that. There are so many of you, especially our Indians, some of you, your personality is you look like a frog. Your personality is that of a dead, animal. The way you look is so terrible that even, let's say someone is blind will not want to have sex with you. That is how horrible some men are. I'm being honest with you. Yes, you can make fun of me all you like, but if your standards, if you are here and you're expecting the girl to be up here, you're fat, you're ugly, but you want a girl who's slim and hot. You are out of shape, but you want a girl in shape. You have a personality of like I told you, a frog, but you want her personality to be that of Miss Universe. Then the question is, why should she lower her standards and come down to you? Just like you, I'm pretty sure there's not a single guy who I've spoken to who has told me, I want a fat female, yeah, I want an ugly female, I want one with hairy armpits and stinky and smelly and, whose body smells like urine as if she did not have bath, and her mouth should be smelling, and she should be overweight by, 100 kilos. I've never met a guy like that. I've never met anyone who has, even if he's ugly, he would want a beautiful girl. So in the same way, girls also, you'll be very surprised. Nowadays, at least, it's a reality. The girl can be from the village. I have actually chatted with females who stay in a single, it's like a hut, with aluminium foils at the top and one room where they sleep and eat and everything else. And they don't even have money to buy a new pair of clothes. They buy second-hand, cheap, pirated stuff. But still, these girls want, they believe that maybe even Shah Rukh Khan, they have a chance with him. That is how crazy expectations have become. So, where you're concerned, just remember that if your level is up here, till here, if you're targeting up there, you need to have something that will fill the gap. Which I know many of you say, oh, I'm going to have so much of money and I'm going to get so many girls. I'll speak on that point, which makes it, it's called the T kind of relationship. I'll tell you more about it. It's point number 6. Yeah. So I'm at point number 2. Point number 3. Please, my dear Indian brothers and my Indian friends and my Indian youngsters, don't be desperate. Some of you literally behave like dogs in heat. And it's not limited to only Indians, although a majority are Indians. We are Pakistanis, we are Sri Lankans. I give you that example of one of my client friends. He created this fake Facebook account of this AI generated female who was wearing, everything was AI. She was wearing hot pants. She was flaunting her boobies and her butt, and it's all fake. Nothing was real. But the guys were actually sending her sexual messages and pictures of their little sausage and telling I love you and ready to pay money and begging her, please, I love writing poems. I've even had female clients who are at a particular level. Can you imagine? And on LinkedIn, this female who is at a C level, she's like a CEO, almost below that. Guys are sending her like, let's meet for a cup of coffee. I admire you. You drive me crazy. I skip a beat when I read your comment. What? LinkedIn is not a dating site. This is the problem with men. In fact, one female, she commented below my videos. She said, I politely rejected a guy and he took her politeness as her weakness and he started to take advantage of her. So just because a girl smiles at you doesn't mean she's going to open her legs and start doing whatever you want. Don't mistake a girl's kindness and courtesy as, oh, now she's in love with me. Indian men really don't know how to behave. There are so many of them. Yes, there are other nationalities, but like I said, my target market, my focus is Indians. And especially some of you, when you go to countries or places and suddenly you see females, you just don't know how to behave. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to act because your upbringing was such where you never interacted with women. So please learn how to behave. I don't encourage you to fake it, like trying to act decent when you're an indecent person. Rather, what I would tell you is strike a balance between learning how to control your urges to being classy. And if you have never seen a female, you have never interacted with one, well, that is where the problem lies. Start interacting with women. That doesn't mean that every female you meet, you have to sleep with her or keep friends. Your sister, your mother, your aunt, they are also women. So interact with them, speak to them, talk to them. And remember, just as you respect your mother and sister and your aunt, hopefully you do, you should respect women who are someone else's sister, daughter, or aunt. Don't act like you have never seen. In fact, I tell some of the young men that there are plenty of fishes in the sea. Okay, so if one girl goes, another one comes. But in order for you to get those fishes, yes, you have to go into the ocean, throw the net, patiently wait, and catch. You can't sit on the shore and never go in the deep waters and say that, the fish will come running to me. It doesn't happen that way. So don't be desperate. At the same time, don't be stupid, immature, and ridiculous that expecting that the first girl you meet, everything is going to be fine. No, it is a process. You need to have experience. And please, like I've said, maintain your self-respect. And another point that I would mention here is don't overdo something. Like there are guys who, just to get the attention of the female, they will write poetry. Some will write with their blood on a sheet of paper. Some will cry for the female, and some will literally stand outside her office every day. All this, sounds nice in movies or when you're young and jobless. But a real man, it's very simple. A guy who has multiple options will not be desperate for one. But if you're desperate for one and she really means something to you, let's assume she does mean something to you, then show class. Approach her with respect. And one of my followers, he asked me, her friend, this girl who he likes, they are best friends. Okay. And he wants to take it up to the next level. I told him point blank, if she has looked at you as a friend all this time, means she doesn't see you as a lover. She doesn't see you as someone she wants to spend her life with. And the risk of expressing your feelings that you think of her more than friends is maybe after you confess, she'll feel very uncomfortable with you and you lose that relationship that you even have. So if a girl really loves you, wants you, and wants to take it a step higher than just friendship, she herself will share the interest. Just keep in mind that yes, communication is important, opening your heart is important, but sometimes you have to use a bit of common sense. So just don't overdo anything. Don't overdo means don't go out of your way. If you earn $1,000 salary, spend all the 1,000 for her, take a bank loan, be her slave, be her dog, run around doing her errands. Don't do that, because remember, initially maybe it'll look fun, but you can't live your entire life being like this. And don't give the female more importance than what is required. If you put her on your head and carry her like your god, then she'll expect you to be down below her for the rest of your life. And that is not how a real man should be. Although there are a lot of simps out there who don't mind being this. There was this comedian who he worships his wife, pathetic state. I don't want to talk about it, but you know what I mean. He's a comedian. You can just Google search and you'll find a disgusting simp comedian. All right. I'm sure some of you know his name. I don't know. I've read people wanted me to make a video about him. Not interested. Okay. So don't be a simp. Number 4, when you're getting into a relationship, it's a give and take. Okay. You'll have to spend either money to keep her happy, or you'll have to dedicate your time, or you'll have to give her your attention, or you'll have to give all of it. There's no relationship in the world that just comes by, carrying a dam. The only way where you can have a relationship where you don't give her your time, your effort, your creativity, your patience, your tolerance is unless you're filthy rich and every girl wants a piece of you because you're so rich, so famous, you're successful, you're like a celebrity star that they are ready to worship you. Fine. Then maybe you don't have to worry about it because they are in love with whatever you have created. But then the only drawback to that is they're in love with the facade or the image or the expectation or the standard that you have created. They don't know you as a human being, because you as a human being is totally something different. And once let's say you're a superstar, let's say you're famous, let's say you're rich. Once she gets attracted to you, she gets into your life, then she's no longer going to look at you as a superstar, as someone who's famous, as someone who is successful. Like my wife, 90% of the stuff that I've done, whether it's conducting seminars, being in front of the media, doing large shows, mentoring people, speaking in audiences, 2,000 people, giving, 45-minute speeches where I get sometimes a standing ovation, dealing with clients who have shitload of money. My wife has never seen me do this. She doesn't, she knows I do this, but she has not experienced anything. She's from the village. But do you think my wife meets me and says, "Oh, you're so great. Oh, you're so big"? For my daughter and wife, I'm just Papa and I'm just darling. That's what my wife calls me. She doesn't know any of my credentials. She doesn't know any of my achievements, nothing. Although even if I share it with her, it's meaningless. It's like telling my daughter, "Your Papa is successful. Your Papa met this big guy, this sheikh, this celebrity star." Daughter will be, "You're my Papa," So the same way, when the person comes into your life, they would see you as a human being. And over there, you need to give your time, effort, money, creativity. And that has an opportunity cost, because your career, your projects, what you're passionate about, even your gym time, even your time with your friends, all that will suffer. Which brings me to the next point. Point number 5 is don't do all this with an agenda to get married. Marriage shouldn't be the end goal, because if marriage is your end goal, you are deeply mistaken. Marriage is the beginning of a lot of expectations, a lot of headaches, a lot of boredom, a lot of monotonous, behaviors. It's like that movie Groundhog Day. You get up every day and everything is the same. So no matter how hard you try to be creative, you'll wake up with the same person, with the same house, with the same schedule, with the same routine like how you have right now. You get up, go to the office, complete the work, come back home, you're exhausted. So that's how it's going to be. So marriage is, it's a beginning of taking on more responsibilities than you would imagine. Because when the person's your girlfriend, you don't have to worry about her mother, father, brother, sister. Don't have to pay money for all of them. Don't have to pay off their loans. In fact, if you want to break up with her, things don't work out fine. But once you get married, you can't say no to all this. There is a certain level of expectations that you have. So don't make marriage your end goal. And remember what I told you at the previous point, the opportunity cost. You'll have to give up your gym. You'll have to give up your projects, your time, your effort, your creativity. You'll have to spend time with her. And the worst part is, there's no guarantee that all this you put, it'll give you a ROI. Maybe she'll use all of this. She'll use your money. She'll use your time. She'll use your affection, attention, and then she'll dump you and marry someone else. This has happened to so many people I know, including myself. And I'll tell you, then you can cry and whatever. Nobody cares. But in my case, the only good thing is I'm glad that they never married me, because I think my life would have been miserable. Not that they are bad, but, I've evolved and my demands have changed, which is another point. I've not mentioned it here. What you love when you're in your 20s changes when you're 25, changes when you're 30, changes when you're 35, changes when you're 40, changes when you're 45, until you reach a point where you don't have any expectations, any hopes, you don't want any more changes. So Just keep that in mind. If you are young and she is young and you get married together when you're young, by the time you are old, you will, like, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, you'll be like, sheesh, man, why did I even get married to this guy? He's so different from what I want. And today I've changed so much. And then you'll be like, I'm stuck with this guy. Like, what the hell, And then you'll maybe see new, beautiful, amazing individuals. And you'll be like, wow, I want to spend my life with this person, not the one that I'm married to. Remember, I had more than 400 relationships, and I'm glad that I married who I'm married to today. Just imagine if I got married earlier, or even that girl who I tattooed here. Well, I can tell you, both of us, not just her, not just me, both of us would be miserable. Okay, so marriage shouldn't be the end goal, and there's no guarantee that whatever you give, you're going to get it back. Number 6, you remember I told you, the T relationship. If you have enough and more money, if you have a career, if you're successful, if you're famous, if all, everything is taken care of, and you're just looking for a woman, remember, most of these females, they will opt for you, or the girl's parents, is because you're offering them security, you're offering them a good future for their daughter, and, one problem is less. So the relationship tends to be less about true love, and it becomes more of a T relationship. That means transactional. It becomes more like going to a bar, going to a, where there are these girls who come with you for money. You can call them prostitutes or sex workers or whatever. So you give them something, they give you something in return. They provide you a service. They give you their attention. They give you hugs, kisses. They sit with you. They make you feel special, even if you're smelly or fat or ugly. That is why if you see guys with big pot bellies and, hairy and stinky and smelly, they have girls who they're dating who look like their granddaughters. Why do you think the girl is with him? You think the girl always fantasized having an oversized, fat, smelly guy who is old enough to be a grandfather and who's 5 times her weight? You think that was her dream? No. She is opting for this because there are certain benefits, perks and benefits that come. That is why do you think females in the Philippines or third world countries, they opt for guys from the West? Australian, Canadian, American. They want the white passport. They are not in love with you. That is why when you see a 90-year-old with a 19-year-old, a 90-year-old man with a 19-year-old female, yes, it's love, as they call it, but she's in love with something else and he's in love with something else. He wants the best of what money can buy. He wants to live his younger days, even though he's no longer young. She, on the other hand, wants to secure a future. So if money, power, fame is your core identity, then most probably the female who's falling for you is looking for a transactional relationship. Remember what I told you, they're not dumb. Number 7. I think I've given you quite a number of points. So what I'll do is I'll speak on point number 7 in part 2 of this video, because otherwise this is going to be one hell of a very long video. I've already spoken for nearly, I think, close to 30 minutes. So if you're interested in part number 2, comment down below and let me know that you want to, know about part number 2. I'll give you some more points as to, understanding the psychology of women.